MTV, and welcome to my crib. This time last year when I was thinking about going to university, all I wanted to know was what people's uni dorms looked like, and so today I thought I'd show you mine. For my first year at Durham University, I've lived at St Cuthbert Society, which is my college, on the Bailey, which is like the World Heritage Site kind of area in Durham. I've got quite a small room, it's halls of residence. I have a shared bathroom, which actually is quite interesting because one of my prerequisites for university was to have my own bathroom, like an ensuite. I didn't get that, and actually it's been completely fine. We never run into each other. We have 2 showers between 10 and 2 toilets between 10, so really you never bump into each other because we all have such different schedules. So without further ado, let's get on with the video, and remember, what happens on tour stays on tour. I just hope this video isn't torturous for you. Ha ha ha. I'm here all year. As you walk into the room, this is what you see. My room, actually, if you looked at it from like a bird's eye view, oh, hello there, is actually kind of like a big cube, which is great because it feels quite cozy. The first part of the room that I'd like to share with you on this whistle-stop tour is my pride and joy, my bookshelf. So as you can see, it's got 3 shelves. It's quite unfortunately placed because this is my bed here and it kind of like goes over the bed, and I have to say I have hit my face on this several times. Gave myself a nosebleed one time after a night out, which was horrendous. But anyway, this is the bookshelf. This is the first shelf. So on here I just have some kind of textbooks that I needed for this year, all just kind of course stuff. I have a cookbook, which I think will come in handy next year when I have to cook for myself, but it makes me look like a domestic god at least. Next to that I have this yellow John Lewis frame with a picture of my dog Archie. This picture was taken actually on the day before I left for university. He's a diamond in the rough. And then kind of obscured by this photo is a picture of my friend Kira and I when we went to Washington DC last year. Then I've got this oversized clock from Next, have to be very careful how I say that, which definitely isn't compensating for anything, thank you very much. Below that I have this little sign that says on air. It was actually a candle, you can kind of see the 2 wicks in the top. It was from Primark, it was reduced to £1 in their sale. Then I have my holy scripture, my English literature anthologies. These come in 6 volumes. Alternatively, you could get them as like 2 big books, so it'd be, all of that would be book 1 and all of that would be book 2. I went for 6 different volumes just because I thought they'd be easier to carry around, and I was so right, so I definitely recommend that if you have to buy something similar. On top of those, I have my signature scent, which is Dunhill Icon Racing. So if you ever wondered what I smell like, this is it. Onto the second shelf, which is entirely populated by books from my course. Next to that is a very sad looking pot which is empty. At one point this had a billowing, flowing ivy that went all the way down here, but it died a very sad death because I just forgot to water it. I was too busy trying to like keep myself alive to keep a plant alive too. And below that I have a cactus. They did in Freshers Week a houseplant sale outside the library, and that's where I bought all of my plants, and this I think is the last survivor, so well done you, cactus. So the general vibe is that you have business down here and then party up here. This is my favourite part of the whole room. I've also got a cocktail mixer over here, and then next to that is this big box that says a place for everything, and basically it just has loads of miscellaneous goods in it. Pick your poison, stationery or alcohol. I like both. And yeah, moving on from the bookshelf, here I have a chest of drawers, which is kind of next to my bed, so it also serves as like a bedside table. On here I have this ampersand light. You may have seen this in the background of my videos. There it is. Oh, lovely stuff. And another cactus. Oh, this one survived too. And I've just realised, creeping behind there is a little hip flask. Oops. And finally, next to my bed, I just have some books that I've been reading recently and a little light, which fun story, has never actually been used because I just cannot find the right bulb for it, so it's been bulbless for the whole year, and that's just quite sad really, isn't it? Next to that we have my bed, and this is where the magic happens, and by magic I mean I can do card tricks. So I just keep down here my little wash bag, so I've just got all of the essentials that I take to the bathroom with me. The bedding I think is from Matalan, the pillows are from Next and IKEA. Obviously the college kind of provided my mattress and stuff, but to make it more comfy I have a mattress topper, a John Lewis feather duvet. These pillows I think were M&S, they were on sale just before we came here, so look out for that again this year. And then at the end of the bed is this little cushion that says hello, because I'm always just just entertaining guests. I'm joking, obviously, but this is a really nice place to kind of sit. I've used it as kind of like a reading nook, but also when people come over just to chat, it's quite a nice little seating area. Above the bed, I have some posters. This one says garage on it. I got it from IKEA. I don't know, it just kind of matched the colour scheme and I thought it was quite cool. The other one says destination London, which is where I go home, but also the kind of destination I'd like to end up after my degree ends. I mean, I've just forged a meaning out of that. I actually just got it in John Lewis as part of a set and I thought it was quite cool. Next to that, I have this huge world map. Now, if you've been following the vlogs for a long time, then you'll know that this was sold to me as a vintage world map. Now, it's so vintage that it has the Soviet Union on it. Which is not ideal, but since I'd spent a whole £4 on it, I thought I'd keep it anyway, and basically what I've done is I've stuck these little map pins into all of the places that I visited around the world, and just in case you were interested in perhaps doing the same thing, basically how I've done this is I've stuck a notice board, like a cork board, to the wall, using these adhesive strips, which you can just pull off the wall when you're done, so they don't leave a mark on the wall, and then I stuck the world map to it using blue tack just on all four corners, and then the pins kind of go into it and stick into the corkboard so it doesn't leave a mark on the wall, which is good because I don't want to pay those fees. Panning around, we have my wardrobe. This is quite unexciting. Basically, on top of here, I just have these two baskets from H&M Home with some products that I was sent very kindly by brands for my like blogging and YouTube stuff. And then this one has camera equipment in it. I've also just remembered that this one all has a wig in it that I think I stole by accident because I was in a photo booth and this was one of the props and I put it on my head and then just left with it and went clubbing with this on and then just never gave it back, so that's in this basket too. Behind those, still at the top of my wardrobe, I've just got some mixers for like pre-drinks and stuff like that. And then if you watched my last video, you will recognise these. These are my pug slippers. The side of my wardrobe, as you might have seen before, comes down to the bed. I used to have loads of pictures from home all on this side of the wardrobe, but we had to move out over Easter so that the new freshers could kind of come and have a taster of living in student halls. So I had to like unpack my whole room and put it like, so basically if you can see down here, this is my bed. These bits lift up, you can take the mattress off and lift these bits up, and the whole of the under of the bed is like a storage unit. And so I put all of my stuff down there. I had to take most of the posters off my wall, and just because these ones were quite personal, I took them off. And then basically I put this little cabinet inside, so in here is like my underwear and socks, and then here is like my sports stuff, which is probably dusty by now. And then I kind of use these little shelves that it has as shoe storage. I think my favourite item in my... Oops. As I was saying, I think my favourite item in my whole wardrobe has to be my gown. We have to wear these for formals, basically, and for matriculation. And if I could wear it every day, I would. Moving swiftly on from the wardrobe, we have my windowsill. First up, we have this picture of my dog and I, and then this vase is completely useless, but it was from IKEA, and it just looks kind of cool there, I thought. Next up is the only plant I've managed to actually keep alive, and this is a fake one from IKEA. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Anyway, so this is the view from outside my window. I think it's quite a nice one, actually. And then this is the Bailey, which is, you know, I think that's a pretty cracking view. On this side, I have this weird bit of roof that I sometimes see rats on, and then that over there goes down to the river. Then we have my desk area, which is where I do a lot of studying. I spend a lot of time here, so I really wanted to get it right. Firstly, I have a candle, which is from Charles Farris, which I definitely haven't burnt despite the black wick, because that's not allowed in halls of residence. Definitely never did that. Personally, I like to kind of store all of my stationery on my desk so that it's really accessible. So I have this little pen pot from Muji, and then I have this desk lamp which was from Next, I believe, and it just looks kind of like industrial and quite cool, I feel. Above that, I just have lots of posters on my wall. These little like luggage tag ones were from John Lewis. They came in a pack of 10, and they kind of match these ones as well that I have on the wall, which again were from John Lewis. This one here obviously is a photo of Amsterdam, which is just one of my favourite places, and I went travelling there in the summer, so I thought I'd get this little poster, which was from Amazon. Speaking of which, I have my interfails here. So we went interrailing together. This is the kind of group I went with in a Next photo frame, which is hanging from the wall. Also from the summer is this photo from Lake Bled, which again was taken when we were interrailing. The funny story behind this photo is that we actually were just sitting up here, looking at the view, drinking beer, watching the sunset, and this guy came up to us and was like, hey, can I take a photo of you with my film camera? He sent it to us, and I just think this is the coolest picture. I love it to pieces, and yeah, what a cool story. You can kind of see on here that I have a notice board which is painted the same colour as the wall, which is just like here, and it has my mirror on it for some reason. But anyway, I've been sticking things to it or pinning things to it using these pins, they're like oversized colourful pins from Flying Tiger Copenhagen. Firstly, I have this ticket to Lord and Khalid at the Brighton Centre, which I went to see the night before I came to uni. Another one of these little postcards, a photo booth picture from Summerball, this New York City poster because my parents took me to New York on my 18th birthday. Then above that, this is really cool, I really love this. It's basically, I don't know what they're called, but you kind of stick the little letters into it, and this says work hard and be nice to people, which I think is a mantra to live by. Below that I have my dreaded exam timetable, although they are all ticked, so that's a good thing. And to save from the misery of that, for good measure, I have another picture of my puppy, because why not? Then I have this little wristband, which was from the first time I went for a meeting at the BBC, which I just think is quite a cool thing to keep forever. Above that is my map of the Durham City Centre, which I was given in Freshers Week, because I still just have no idea what I'm doing. Then at the top I have these notes. So basically for all of our balls and formals and stuff at Durham, we do notes. So on the back of these are kind of like notes, so you send them across to tables. So these are ones that were written for me. I've got Michaelmas Ball, Summer Ball, the Feast of St Cuthbert, and then I didn't have a fourth one, or I couldn't find one, so I've put Becky's business card up here. One pretty major thing that I forgot to mention is this whiteboard, which I've just got some classics notes on at the moment. Below my desk we have my biggest fan. Yeah, basically this is just a USB fan that you can plug into your laptop, and it just, well, it does what a fan does, basically. Next to that is this oversized peg, which I think is meant for holding photos, but I like it that way up, so that's how it's staying. And then below that I have this other lens for my camera. The rest of the things on my desk are just my laptop, my keyboard, my mouse, and my Mac. And then down here is just my hard drive, although I did fail my driving test 3 times, so any drive for me is hard. Down here I just have 3 drawers with stationery and folders full of all my notes from the year, and then a little printer and some paper. Back up here now, as I said, I have a mirror, which let's not look at for too long. On the wall I just have this academic year planner, which I was given at Freshers Week. Below that I have my doorstop for starters. This was really good actually, just for like Freshers Week, as a kind of Freshers Week tip. Keep your door propped open so that people can come and speak to you. Up here I just have my laundry basket. This was from Argos, and it has separate baskets for lights and darks, which is very useful for an incompetent monkey like myself. Moving over to my very tasteful green door. Anyway, in an attempt to cover up the door as much as possible, I've put my towels here. But really, this hook, it was so useful. I think it was from Dunelm, and it just hooks over the top of the door so it won't leave any damage. And I've just got my towels, my dressing gown, coats, an umbrella. This was the only kind of hook that the door originally had. And I also have a little carrier bag just to take out with me, you know, save the planet and all that. A light switch, and then my keys, although my keys are so rarely on this hook that I usually spend so much time tearing the whole room apart before I realise they're on here, and it's always quite a surprise when they're here. I think this was like 50p, and you can just stick it onto the wall. Leaves no marks, but very, very useful. And yeah, I think that is pretty much everything. This is the room. I love it. I feel like I did get the smallest room in the house that I live in, but I've made it quite cozy and homely, and I really like it. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you'd like to subscribe, do so down below. We're getting dangerously close to 50,000 subscribers, which is bonkers. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack Edwards. Hopefully I still will be Jack Edwards next time you watch, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.